Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. And it's here, the 15-year-long study. The thing about the whole trans people and how kids are always trans and how it's rising, it's all seeming to vanish. Gone. Immerse. Boom. Kaboosh. Mostly because of the fact that everything they've been saying has been a fallacy and it's been a radical ideology based on very sick individuals. I will probably do a stream condoning with this actual article, and I will be doing this stream as well. Maybe this Thursday, if not next Tuesday. I want to announce it and get some stuff done before I can actually start doing the full stream. But I will do a stream doing a full breakdown. It'll probably around an hour, maybe 2 hours, of me going over exactly on how this radicalization of the trans community, trans movement, has been a complete insanity from the get-go. Now, I will say this, and I've always said that. Say it. If you want to be trans, if you want to be whatever, I don't care. Don't affect other people, and we're good. Essentially, this is where we have to start seeing on how insane you people are. And we have this here. Exclusive. Most gender-confused children grow out of it. Landmark 15-year study concludes, as critics say, it shows being trans is usually just a phase for kids. This is a 15-year study, guys. 15 years. This is very, very, very hard to refute. Because a lot of these studies, a lot of these things that the trans people or whatever want to show is either 1 to 2 years, at best maybe 5 years, and they have no merit. This is a 15-year study, and this is showing on how it's just a phase. And as I said it multiple bloody times, you are pushing an ideology onto people that is not a thing. Let's read. The majority of gender-confused children grow out of that feeling by the time they are fully grown adults, according to a long-term study. Researchers in the Netherlands tracked more than 2,700 children from age 11 to their mid-20s, asking them every 3 years of feelings about their gender. Results showed, at the start of the research, around 1 in 10 children, 11%, expressed gender non-contentness to varying degrees. And this makes sense, because obviously when you hit puberty and stuff like that, especially kids around this age, they may know like what male and female are, but obviously it's vague to them still. A lot of kids don't know, and when you're going through hormones and you're actually developing and stuff like that, it takes a while for that to take effect, alright? It's just a thing. People, develop at age at different times, and I know some women tend to end up developing, breasts around 8 to 9, and everybody's body is different. However, in this regard, it takes the time for that to take effect, and then it just, everything that they have confused about themselves vanishes, and that happens for a lot of kids. This is not unusual. But by age 25, just 1 in 25, 4% say they often or sometimes were discontent with their gender. And by the way, guys, I'm going to put this up as something as well. By the age of 25, which I kept on saying that by 25 years old, your brain, your frontal cortex gets fully developed. So by that time, you will have a great understanding of what you are, etc. by age 25. Of course, everybody changes every 3 to 5 years, give or take, or whatever. That's normal. But in most cases, when your brain's fully developed, the frontal cortex is just all there, that's when we can make the rational decision to say, okay, you can do this because they have a fully functioning, developed brain. But it takes 25 years for that brain to fully develop. So you're taking kids that don't have a fully developed frontal cortex, that are also going through puberty, among other things, and you're telling them, take this hormone tracker, take this, take this, take this, take this. And they don't even have a fully developed brain. It's insanity. The researchers concluded the results of the current study might help adolescents to realize that it's normal to have some doubt about one's identity and one's gender identity during this age period, and that is also relatively common. It comes amid a massive boom in transgender children receiving drugs to change their gender in the US. As critics say, doctors and parents are not challenging young people enough. Patrick Brown, a fellow at the Center of Ethics and Public Policy Center who was not involved in the research, told Daily Mail, this study provides even more reason to be skeptical towards aggressive steps to facilitate gender transition in childhood adolescence. The fact that rates of satisfaction are lower even just a few years later suggests that for the vast majority of people, prudence and caution rather than a rush towards permanent surgeries or hormone therapies will be the best approach for teenagers struggling to make sense of the world and their place in it. Yes, exactly. And this study tremendously hurts the trans community. It has no way it has all these negative effects for the transgender community because they're saying like, oh, they believe it at the age of 5. They believe it this or this or this. Well, 15 years of studies says otherwise. They change it. They shift. And a lot of other places in the UK and stuff like that are changing. They are shifting. They are banning these surgeries and these hormone blockers and everything because it's immoral. It has irreparable damage. How much more do the trans community want to lie about this stuff? It goes on to say, the study is one of the longest into the issue of transgender in children, but the researchers point out it has some limitations. For one, it looked at a mixture of children from the general population and kids who were receiving mental health care, though not specifically for anything related to the gender. Therefore, it does not necessarily reflect the attitudes of children clinically diagnosed with gender dysphoria, which, by the way, those are very small numbers of people, by the way. The researchers from the University of Groningen and analyzed the data of 2,770 people who were part of the Tracking Adolescents Individual Lives survey. Participants were asked to respond to the statement, I wish to be of the opposite sex, at 6 different points over 15 years. They were given multiple choice, 0, not true, 1, somewhat or sometimes true, and 2, very true or often true. The same prompt was given every 2 or 3 years from the start of the study in March 2011 until the end. Researchers looked for those expressing gender non-contentedness, my apologies, or unhappiness with being the gender aligned with their biological sex. The study, published in the journal Archives of Sexual Behavior, found that over 78% of people had the same feelings about their gender over the 15 years. Around 19% became more content with their gender, and just about 2% became less comfortable. Participants were also asked to evaluate their self-worth by rating how they felt about their physical appearances and self-esteem. According to the findings, females were more likely to report being unhappy with their gender, and both increasing and decreasing non-contentedness were associated with lower self-reported self-worth, more behavioral problems, and an increase in emotional struggles. And this is normal for women, alright? This is not bashing women, this is not hating women, this is just normal for women in general, especially young girls and stuff like that. Women are very emotional beings. And I would take this as a problem with, specifically with, what you would call, Instagram is a good start, right? Instagram has been shown to have severe problems with females because women mostly use Instagram to post pictures of themselves and stuff to make them look attractive or whatever, and the likes really boost their self-esteem. And women have this horrible idea that they have to get these surgeries and whatever, and saying like men want this beauty standard. Listen, ladies. This is going to slightly off topic, but listen, ladies. No man wants you to get a BBL. No man wants you to get a lip filler. No man wants you to get this cosmetic surgery that costs you thousands upon thousands of dollars. Most men will be happy with the fact that you have your natural body, your natural looks with no makeup. Full stop. This is not a joke. This is just reality. And women have a lot of, issues with that. They want to be attractive. They're trying to attract the most mate, which is understandable. There's nothing wrong with that. And this saying that most of the problems here and where women are mostly being shown to be part of the trans side or whatever, because they're mostly social beings and try to fit better into social society and stuff like that. That's normal. And this is not really surprising. But again, guys, this is just normal stuff. But eventually, they grow out of it. The author said gender non-contentedness, while being relatively common during early adolescence, in general decreases with age and appears to be associated with poor self-concept and mental health throughout development. Brown told DailyMail.com, as anyone who's ever been a teenager knows, puberty and its after effects can be a confusing time of hormonal surges, physical changes, and social insecurity. Yes, because also too, men will go through growth spurts. There's a big boost of testosterone that ends up happening here. The bone structure starts changing. It's a huge thing for kids. It's not great, and especially when women first get there, for the first period and stuff like that. And that people don't tell them about it. Yeah, it's shocking, it's disturbing, and they get worried. This is not a problem here, right? This is things kids go through. Rates of gender dysphoria, a clinical diagnosis by a healthcare professional that differs from gender non-contentedness, have soared in every U.S. state except one since 2018, with the average age of diagnosis trending younger. Yeah, so an analysis of insurance claims conducted by Komodo Health ICE Incorporated found between 2017 and 2021 approximately 121,000 children aged 6 to 17 years old were diagnosed with the condition. In 2021, 42,000 were given the diagnosis, a 70% increase from 2020. And children under 18 years old now make up 1/5 of the new diagnosis each year. In the United States, 1.6 million people ages 13 and older identify as transgender. A report by the Health Data and Analytics firm Definitive Healthcare shows the rate of gender dysphoria increased in every state except South Dakota from 2018 to 2022 across all ages. The sharpest rises over those 5 years we're seeing in the 3 Republican-led states, Virginia, Indiana, and Utah, all being 274, 247, and 193%. Thus, South Dakota saw a decline of 23% between 2018 and 2022. Meanwhile, the report also found the number of sex changes being carried out each year is rising rapidly, climbing up to 40% in some years. So, as you can see here, that this is an ongoing issue, and we're pushing this. And it says, in the Netherlands, debate over the issue has ramped up as more Dutch experts have voiced their concerns over the potential adverse effects of puberty blockers and hormonal therapies for minors who wish to transition. And in the US, most recently, trans rights were thrust into the spotlight after critics slammed Joe Biden for calling Easter Trans Visibility Day. Exactly. So again, let's make this perfectly clear. Kids will most likely get out of this situation. And there will be a very, very small percentage that will have this. And what we need to do is just let kids go through their phase, get them help if they need it, and then they will mostly get through it. That is the thing. And until people start realizing this stuff and start seeing the dangers of what this trans identity stuff is doing, you will get to see on how terrible and terrifying this actually is. It's disgusting. And now the trans community is going to be really hard pressed to fix this, because they are going to have to come up with a study of their own, which is going to be based in fallacy and lies, most likely, and to prove us wrong. This is a 15-year study, and they're in a deep trouble. So, goes to show, just don't transition your kids. Just don't. And they'll live a lot happier and less confused lives. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. Cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.